This is day 2 of Port Arthur, and today I can go as long as I like, really, because I've got nowhere to be. I have the worst coffee I've had in a long time. Don't come to Port Arthur for the coffee. Although there is another cafe over at the asylum, so it's possible I'll have another one and give them a second chance. Being here so early in the morning, there's less people around, right? So I'm hoping that I can go and explore the governor's house and, well, the asylum and I think they call it from memory the separation room. That's a pretty nasty place, the separation room. But anyway, I'll show you and I'll tell you about it. Definitely where that one belongs. Not sure why I bought my beanie. It's got no, like, it's so still today, there's no wind. In fact, I'm even feeling warm inside this jacket, which is like a rain wind jacket. I get quite emotional when I come to historic sites like this. I imagine I'd even more so if I went somewhere like England. You know, like, I remember talking years ago to a colleague of mine when I was, probably 20, saying about, I don't know, something was like 200 years old or something. And he laughed and he goes, 200 years, it's like a new estate back home. His school was 600 years old. And it's put it in perspective for me that Australia is still pretty young. But nonetheless, this path I'm on, now no doubt these paths have been restored and things like that. But they're still in the same place as where they originally were, right? This landing down here is the original landing. These stairs are the original stairs, and so as I walk down these stairs, I'm walking in the same path as who knows in history who stood here at this path, because check it out, they could go swimming and get back in. And what I mean by swimming, they fall out of the boat. You want to see what's under there? This camera does a really good job of seeing what's underwater. Let's have a look-see. Do you ever think that? Do you ever admire who might have walked here first? the great men and women who have gone before you. Some not so great, definitely infamous, but I do find it moving, to say the least. I wonder where this path goes. Well, let's go check out this hill. You can see the back of a house there, and I'm wondering if that's the house, like the governor's house. But also looking behind and thinking the view is just beautiful. Right over to the Isle of the Dead. Which apparently I can't get to. So it's the commandant's house. I thought it would be like a governor or something. I'm not sure if we're meant to be here because I came through the back way, if you will. But what's the worst that can happen? This is the rear entrance to the commandant's house. Oh, that's a shame. That would have been cool. So this was, yeah, right. The servants lived in here. This is tiny. And they had their quarters above, which is really short. That would have been either short asses themselves or they were hunched over. a bit of a patchwork really, isn't it? You know, you've got this guttering system going on and roofing, so there must be something under here. And I'm sure this corrugation is a modernisation to the original, which probably ended before the lean-to. Otherwise I wouldn't have needed that fire hob exposed like that. This might have been like a horse stable or something. The way that that's got the barn door. See, it's got a split door. Get the view of that. Imagine how grand this building would have been back in the day. I wonder what would have been in here, having two types of fireplaces. Is that like an oven down there? Your solitary confinement. Look at the shadow here.
Oh, God,
I know, it's a bit squeezy in here too.
oh yeah, oh my God.
Thank you. They get locked in. really does break my heart that human beings are capable of such horror on other human beings. It's a fascinating little walk, this. It's called Soldiers Avenue, and all these trees represent the soldiers who served here. A lot of times they were in trouble themselves. You know, they were conflicted, as it were. But I come to these places because I'm reminded of the brutality that we as humans are capable of pulling off on each other. This is the surgeon's house, and down the basement, hopefully I can get in there before people behind me come up. Get rid of the evidence. But in the basement there is a really dark room where he would perform autopsies, and it was a big no-no back then, so you had to do it in secret. I'm pretty sure it's one of these buildings up here. I'm hoping we can still access it. I remember it was going down some stairs from the outside into the basement. Port Arthur is a place that you really need to spend either a full day and evening here or spread over 2 days. You really need to get in and experience each room, you know, and hope there's no tossers like there are a bunch of kids down there just being disrespectful. But I'm going to check out the church and then probably get some lunch. The parsonage. It was also where the Reverend lived. It is apparently one of the most haunted houses here. People are in the actual building now, but let's get the other camera up there and see what that looks like. This is a better kitchen than a lot of people I know. It's pretty wild, isn't it? Working away. How many meals were prepared in here for many, many different people. All the different tools she would have used. I say she because more likely it was a woman who was the cook. There is a guided tour going on down there. I'm trying to stay away from them. With no electricity back then, it would have been kind of creepy going around these rooms, wouldn't it? So, I'm not sure why this would have needed to have such bolts. Because that's just timber, but there's no way you're going to be able to push that bolt through if you got stuck in here. Jeez. So this looks like where they bought up the alcohol, snuck it in. And the foundations of the house. Well, this is interesting. So they've taken back all the different layers of paint and varnish and stain, so you can see all the history between raw timber and present day. That's nice, I like that. That chair looks very familiar to me. I had one just like it in the bookshop. What do you think of this, where they're pulling the building apart so you can see how it's made? See? They did it to the walls and they've done it to the floor. What do you guys think of that? The decisions that would have been made in this room. Let's see if I can put a light on. It's not much, but it's better than it was. Is my name written down in there? The drawing room. Wow, look at that piano. That is not a stretched image, that is a really long piano. I remember the last time I came in here, a lot of this building was being restored, but you could actually wander around and sit on these seats and things. Now, nope. There must be ghosts in there because I walked in with my beanie and now it's gone. Oh, what's in here? That is really funny. I've looked everywhere. Even the guide who saw me wear it walking in, clearly not on my head. It's not in my jacket or anything. And I came out of that building without it. I didn't even know. It's strange. Maybe I'm just hallucinating. There's no loss after all. I don't know what this building is yet. Whatever it was, they had a lot of fireplaces. I'm pretty sure these stairs aren't the original stairs. What a glorious looking building. I wonder if it, it sparks some hope into the dismal minds of those prisoners down there. There are 1,000 of those poor souls, suffered the abuse of those people. Going there next, that's the separation and asylum, I believe. Oh, I just noticed they've put bunks in place where they would have been freestand. Like, that's wild, that's great. The plinth on here is just slightly higher than my head. My hair touches. This is the Paupers complex. It could hold 140 people in here. Can you imagine 140 people in here? Oh, we're getting closer. I feel the insanity drawing. Every time I go over a bridge, I wonder if there's a troll. This building is the asylum. Could you imagine? You'd go mad just living here anyway. This is what shits me, is all this was done in the name of God. The cafe was closed. Yeah, what was a little patermelon doing in the middle of the paddock here? You reckon I can sneak up on the little fella? What are you doing? The asylum, not much you can say about that. That was just cruel and unusual. But this next building though is as bad as my haircut at the moment. This is the separation, and what happened was when prisoners would come in to Port Arthur, they were sent here first for a few days and a few weeks if they were really bad trouble. Maybe even a few weeks if they were misbehaving. This is what they had to do. They had to be quiet. They wore this mask and they could only see through these little slits in the head, and the number on their shirt was the cell number they were in. If they misbehaved or spoke or anything like that, they were in a world of pain.
Reception of prisoners. Rule 21. All convicts, upon being brought to the new prison, are to be released from chains and conducted to the receiving room, where they will be closely searched in the presence of an officer, be bathed, have their hair cut close, and dressed in the cell clothing. The convict is then to be supplied with his cell badge by the number of whatsoever description which the convicts may bring with them.
Where they would have their cot. And these anchor points down here, there and there, is where their hammock would swing from. And they had to move the table over here and then put their bed up every night. Clearly that's a chamber pot. This is what prisoners used to look like. And not too far off the height. I'm 6 foot tall, and that was the average height of a man in the 1800s. Lots changed. So here are the cells where they came in for the exercise. So for 23 hours a day, they were in solitude. They weren't allowed to speak, they couldn't hear. And then 1 hour a day, they came in here for isolated exercise, which they had to walk in circles for that 1 hour. Couldn't stop. It was part of the Reformation. No ceiling. This lean-to, I believe, was there. Provides some shelter if it was really bad. Remember, Tasmania gets some really wild weather. We're close to the Antarctic, so it would be freezing here. This is where they went into church. And so what happened was they would come down here. They'd be dead silent. They weren't allowed to make these footstep sounds. You would have had the preacher and giving you a sermon from up here. And you'll see there are little box heads. And so the prisoner's head would be visible, but nothing else. They couldn't see each other. They could only see the priest. And the priest could only see their eyes. So they would have marched in here, which is pretty squeezy. Even I've got to squeeze in. And this would have been the view that they had. Kind of crazy. And then, I believe, yes, as one went in, they would close it off. And as the other would go in, they would close it off. And my head's touching that roof. And then this is the punishment cell. So when they were in solitary confinement because they were being naughty, they would come through here thinking they were going to have an exercise. And then they would go into here. Now there was a door here. There's a door here, and there should be another one. Here we go, this one here. And then that one there. The idea was it completely blocked you out. This was a rather strange church because it's a non-denominational church. It was never consecrated under any doctrine or dogma, and it was run by a chaplain. And it was designed to be an area for people from every faith to come and, you know, worship their God. And then the Catholics, well, they built that little thing over there. And under protest it was. And you can tell it was under protest because look at the sandstone work on this one. And just a typical little cottage on this one. This is St. David's Catholic Church. I believe it was built in the early 1900s. Back in the day, you used to kneel here and the priest would stand on the other side and give you your Eucharist. None of them standing in line, just giving it to you. You had to kneel before your God. Apparently you don't need to anymore. Looks like they're doing some renovations to the stairwell inside. I'm on a hike, not a very big hike, about a 10-minute hike. I'm tired, I've been walking all day around this beautiful place, just exploring all the old buildings and reading the history and taking it all in, you know. And I saw this sign saying there's a lookout up here. There's a 10-minute walk, so I just wander up. There was another walk over there, but I didn't go on it. I wonder if I should, but I think I need to have some lunch or something first, because I'm definitely getting hungry. Oh, look at these rocks. I'm getting old. I'm getting old. I can't spritzly walk up these hills anymore. My knees hurting, my hips hurting. Ah, beautiful. Imagine coming here and trying to find some solitude amongst the chaos. Ugh. Do I want to know what that is? It's a hair clip. I was thinking, what the heck?